your thoughts on on that one-term president? Is he realistic? Is he a realistic statement to make?
Well, let's be clear about this. I heard this one-time presidency thing from Peter Obi during the 2023 election cycle. That was the first time I heard him say this. So it's not as if he was saying something I hadn't heard before. But I think we need to be interrogating issues beyond declarations. A man says he's going to spend one time. Okay, one time to do what? I think we should actually be asking that question. If I have a vision that can be contained within my lifetime, then it's not a vision, it's just an ambition. If it's a vision, I'll need my children's children to complete that task. So if a man says, I'm going to take only one time and I'm leaving, I am more interested in asking the question, what are your plans? What would you do with the one time? If I ever run for the presidency of Nigeria, I don't require more than 2 years to do everything that I need to do. And that's the extent of my own belief in the fact that you don't need a long time to achieve lasting change. But the question to be asked is, what does he intend to do with the one time? I think that's the question that we should be asking. I'm not focused on if the person is either the man is believable or is not believable. So I'm not focused on how long he has said he wishes to serve. I would be more interested in what do you intend to do with that time. That's what interests me, not the time. Obasanjo had 8 years. What did he do with it? Buhari had 8 years. What did he do with it? He ruined Nigeria. Tinubu has had 2 years. He's taking us back like 50 years. So it's not really about how much time the person spends. It's a function of what are they doing with the time that they have.
We even begin. Let's start off with our political landscape, because it's so much. There's talk about former President Goodluck Jonathan coming, in fact, some general overseer in the papers, this I think was the National Enquirer, that said that he's predicting that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan will be back in Aso Rock. What do you make of that? Should he enter this? Many people have said he should stay out of it. Some people are saying he might be the person that they need to be able to cleanse power from the APC. What do you think? Should he stay out of this?
1,000 Goodluck Ebele Jonathan cannot solve the problems of Nigeria. They might very well go ahead and increase his brain power by a factor of 1,000 for good measure. If we do not address our structural problems and if we are incapable of telling ourselves the basic truths that we hold to ourselves, then nothing is going to change. They can recycle all these people as many times as they care. This was the same Goodluck Ebele Jonathan that was horribly vilified, labeled. The press went into overdrive in this country, the pulpits and the mosques everywhere. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's removal will solve the problems of Nigeria. And then here we are. We're going back into the past to dig up the past. That was how we dug up the one that just expired. I don't believe that our problems are going to be resolved because we change personnel. The problems we have in Nigeria goes beyond persons. If you removed Bola Ahmed Tinubu from office today, if you do not touch that evil system that produces the kind of people who have ruined this country and that has consistently assured that we've remained Lilliputians when we are giants. All this talk about Goodluck Ebele Jonathan is just more distraction from the political ruining crash. We're not looking for saviors of Voltrons. It's about building systems, enduring systems, building a country. How do you rebrand the failure of 2015 into a saint and a savior in 2025? How? 10 years, we've gone full cycle. And we are back at a situation where we are saying that we were better off where we were in 2015. So maybe Buhari might as well have done all of us a favor. Maybe he shouldn't have waited 10 years, because I'm sorry. And this is not about me discounting his humanity, because we are now saying that we should go back 10 years. To do what? Exactly what? So I'm sorry, I'm not enthused with all this talk about persons. They should focus on the system. How do we ensure that we're able to produce people who care about Nigerians, people who would ensure that Nigerians are brought out of virtuous servitude in which we are all living miserably. We should talk about real issues.
Well, Mr. Farotimi, I don't want to lose that thought process. When you say our systems need a change, how is that supposed to happen? There are a few people who've been speaking up recently. Professor Patutomi recently said, that it's our political elite that is the problem. They have to lead the charge when it comes to doing the right thing. Another activist had said, that our political class have to commit class suicide for us to see any kind of change in our systems. What do you think is the way to fix a system that you've described as broken? How do you fix broken systems?
From as far back as when I've been in the public space and I've been asked questions related to the one you just asked, I've made it abundantly clear. You cannot depend on those who have ruined this country for his salvation, even though in the history of every part of the world, it has always taken members of the oppressive ruling class to lift the people out of the mess. You talk about the political class. The unfortunate reality is that Nigeria is not possessed of a political class. Political suggests people who are resolved to meet the challenges of nationhood, of development by consensus. There are no consensuses amongst those you will call elites in Nigeria because they're actually not elite. To be elite, you need to be thinking beyond your lifetime. To be political, you need to be building consensuses. You don't have a political class. We have a class that is completely focused on existential issues, how to seal, not about nation building. So if anything is going to change, it is the people who have to look in their mirrors for the savior of Nigeria. It's going to be that the victims of Nigeria found sufficient basis to coalesce around the ideas of change. If you're looking to the political class, history should tell you that you won't get anything positive out of them. Nothing positive. It's always about prebendal considerations. What is in need for them as a collective? Look at what we just talked about now. They want to bring good luck at Dela Jonathan because it is the safe option for them. It is not about what is in need for the people. If we're talking about change in 2027, what does it mean in education? What does it mean for security? What does it mean for agriculture? What does it mean in telecoms? What does it mean about the structure of the country? You have 37 states effectively if you take this judiciary position properly. You have 36 states, one federal territory, 774 local governments. They are sat in Abuja thinking of into this. Nobody is coming out to talk about how the cost of governance has assured that the people have been ignored. No developmental strides are being made. They are talking about good luck in Dela Jonathan. There were valid reasons 10 years ago to ask that it be removed. But people did not ask themselves, what does it mean to change this? So they focused on change and they were sold a dot. So now we're back here again. 10 years later, realization has hit that APC is only not for us. And we are thinking that it's all about changing names and then bringing somebody. I would be more interested in knowing exactly what it is that Mr. Goodluck might bring this time around that is different from what he was doing. That each and every one of the persons, largely in the media, almost every critical voice in this country, all of whom are falling silent today, called for his removal. So what has changed?
All right, let me take you up on something else in the news. I want you to get your thoughts on the one-term presidency. We've heard from different quarters, different corners of this country. And it was Mr. Peter Obi who said it. Look, I'm going to do just one term. He believes you can change Nigeria in one term. Someone said that's something you tell to a woman when you're with her in the house. Someone else said I can sell you a bridge if you believe something like that. What are your thoughts on that one-term president? Is he realistic? Is he a realistic statement to make?
Well, let's be clear about this. I heard this one-time presidency thing from Peter Obi during the 2023 election cycle. That was the first time I heard him say this. So it's not as if he was saying something I hadn't heard before. But I think we need to be interrogating issues beyond declarations. A man says he's going to spend one time. Okay, one time to do what? I think we should actually be asking that question. If I have a vision that can be contained within my lifetime, then it's not a vision, it's just an ambition. If it's a vision, I will need my children's children to complete that task. So if a man says, I'm going to take only one time and I'm leaving, I am more interested in asking the question, what are your plans? What would you do with the one time? If I ever run for the presidency of Nigeria, I don't require more than 2 years to do everything that I need to do. And that's the extent of my own belief in the fact that you don't need a long time to achieve lasting change. But the question to be asked is, what does he intend to do with the one time? I think that's the question that we should be asking. I'm not focused on if the person is either the man is believable or is not believable. So I'm not focused on how long he has said he wishes to serve. I would be more interested in what do you intend to do with that time. That's what interests me, not the time. Obasanjo had 8 years. What did he do with it? Buhari had 8 years. What did he do with it? He ruined Nigeria. Tinubu has had 2 years. He's taking us back like 50 years. So it's not really about how much time the person spends. It's a function of what are they doing with the time that they have.
Well, one thing that's going on right now, and I don't know if we have those visuals to put up right now. There's a protest going on, and I want to be able to get exactly how many, because there's so many of them. The Nigerian Union of Pensioners, representing various agencies, NITEL, MTEL, FRCN, FMW, Nigerian Railway Corporation, they are protesting unpaid entitlements up to 35 months pension arrears, non-payment of the 35,000 naira palliative and the 32,000 naira pension increment. So we have people who have worked for this country, and we saw it with the police not too long ago. We keep seeing these stories going on across the country. I want you to be able to speak to that, and maybe in your analysis, maybe you can talk to us about this situation we're seeing with the NYSC. This young lady had criticized President Bola Ahmed, had criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And people feel like, well, she feels like she's being bullied. Many people are speaking up in support of her. We haven't seen former Vice President Atiku Abubakar speaking up about this situation. But NYSC has clarified that she missed a clearance. She missed a particular clearance in April, and she's not the only one. About over 100 of them that missed that particular clearance exercise, and that's the reason why their certificates have been withheld, and they've extended their time in service for 2 more months. What do you make of that situation?
Have you noticed that I have a green?
Yes, I have.
Edged on my face.
Yes.
You see, Yorubas have this proverb: "The city obati kari ki to bon." Until suffering is democratized, it is rarely ever rejected. The ruiners of Nigeria have done a fantastic job of feathering their own nest by plucking the feathers of the Nigerian victims. Without anesthesia of any sort, they just keep plucking the feathers, and they've used it to feather their own nest. So if the Nigerian people are now universally groaning, for someone like me who is completely convinced that only a revolution will save Nigeria, I'm extremely happy. Because what they are doing is that they are helping me to recruit the foot soldiers for the revolution that must change this country. Now let's deal with something. You're talking about pensioners. Go to Ekiti State. Some people have retired for over 15 years. They received nothing. Not a dime. These ones are talking about 30-something months. Let me explain, my dear sister. What has happened to us is that we have been functionally enslaved by a system that is not designed to deliver any value to the people. It's meant to create value and deliver value, extract value from the people and deliver it to the rulers of Nigeria. So it is very easy for that system to ensure that our president has the latest yacht in town, his jet, even when it doesn't need replacement, gets replaced. He has assured that governors travel all over the world, spending monies in excess of what is spent on universal basic primary education. So it's not a system that works for the people. And the more the system illustrates how it has become alienated from the people, the happier somebody like me is, because it helps me to drive home the message I constantly try to get to the people. That regardless of whether you are Yoruba, Igbo, Fulani, Igbo, Ijo, whatever you get to be, the rulers of Nigeria don't care. You only exist to be extracted from. But when they get to that level, they don't care where you are from, because they are one. So if it takes this suffering to awaken the people to the reality of their situation, I'm happy. Because what you are describing, those are episodes. You're looking at a man with load as cue on his head without paying attention to the crookedness of his legs. Those are merely episodes. It's all over the federation. Everybody is crying. It's just about who they give a mic and who is able to articulate each thing. Now, to come to the case of Rai, the system is always going to find ways to punish those who would hear, to say something different from what it wants to hear. What is Rai do? She drew attention to the fact that they are not even paying them what should be sufficient to transport paupers from one point to the other. If they are paying their fathers right, would they pay the children those kind of allowances when the system itself knows by its own calculation that these monies are not enough? This girl drew attention to this, and what has the system done? Coalesce to ensure that no other pauper will dare to do something like that in future. That is what has happened, and they will find all manners of excuses to justify what has been done.
You know, Mr. Farotimi,
it is all about ensuring.
My sincere apologies for putting in. My sincere apologies. Each time I hear you speak, one thing that I see, I hear, you're talking about the system, and it's not today. I was an active broadcast journalist in the 90s, following the botched Third Republic. I saw what civil society organizations did. I saw the time when Nigerians left home. They weren't sure whether or not they were going to come back that particular day. And it happened for 6 years or so, between 1993 and 1999, when we returned to the Fourth Republic. But there is a question that I've been asking on this program every opportunity I have, and that's the Nigerian vision. Some people believe that Nigeria's vision is embedded in our national anthem or in our national pledge. So first of all, do you agree with them? Or do you think there is a need for us to sit around the table and agree what the Nigerian vision is? That every politician, irrespective of political party or political leaning, irrespective of 1 term or 5 years or 2 terms or 4 years, must align with. Do you think it is time for us to get there, or you think things are going to continue without this rudder that we need to abide by?
Thank you very much. This is probably like the 3rd or 4th time that we'll be speaking, myself and you. And the one thing you would concede is that I have never failed to speak to the system governing this country. The reality is that we don't have any national vision. I think it's in Habakkuk, I think chapter 2, verse 1 and 2 or something like that. Those of you who are Christians, that you will understand. But it says that a vision is for an appointed time. Though it tarries, wait for it. It says write it down, make it plain, that those who read it may run with it. In typical nation building, you reduce your national vision to the anthem and then the pledges. A man came into office and he demonstrated his capacity to get the National Assembly to do whatever he cares, and it was done within 72 hours, I believe. He changed the national anthem back to the old national anthem. That shows you what is possible when a man is determined to achieve. So if Bola Ahmed Tinubu had wanted to achieve an overarching vision, he could have gone to the same National Assembly and gotten them to fall behind it. Obasanjo could have pretty much done the same thing until he went off on his third tangent. The key thing I'm explaining is this. When you have a vision, it constrains your spending. If you are building a house, you will rather buy a bag of cement than a bottle of brandy, because your priorities will change. We're a country that has zero vision. That is why perversion has crept in. Our ruiners have no big ideas behind which to harness the capacities, immense capacities of Nigerians. We will conceive roads. It would already be outdated before they move to site. It's not in terms of the budget, it's in terms of the stealing that attended the planning. So instead of building something that would belong in the new age, at least based on the kind of budget, you build something that doesn't even fit the day. That is a function of the absence of vision. You're building a railway. The railway to Ibadan will take me over 2 hours or thereabout to get to Ibadan. If I enter the train, no, they're almost 3 hours to get to Ibadan. That's probably the distance from London to Reading, which will take less than 30 minutes. But we built it at great cost. This country is in debt today. The person principally responsible for building that is crowing that he will end corruption in Nigeria if he becomes president. So my brother, we have no national vision. That is why perversion has taken over our land. The word provision comes from provision for vision. We have no vision. It's perversion governing Nigeria. Perversion of the worst order.
It's diversity move. We have to have a replay, or what they call the second half of this conversation, because a number of issues you raised. For instance, you talked about the state governments. It would seem to me like every time we are raising issues about the federal government of Nigeria. We don't seem to be giving
the entire system
to the states.
No, it's not. No, it's the entire
I'm pretty
system.
sure that we'll come to it some other time. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Mr. Farotimi. Mr. Dela Farotimi is a
Thank you very much for having
and
me.
political activist.
Now you listen to that. Very good. This is Dela Farotimi backing Peter Obi of one term, that it is possible to do a lot. And he even said, for him, for the vision, for the mind, for what he already know, the problem of this country, 2 years is even enough for him to do all those things. That is to say, the 4 years of Peter Obi is even 2 months to change a lot of things. Peter Obi is not telling you that he's going to give you 100% government overnight, but he's going to give you 100% effort, work to make the country work, to set, at least to start the foundation. Whoever comes after, there will be some foundation when this man Peter Obi will lay on ground within that 4 years. When this foundation, lay this foundation of this building, for example, and is get to somewhere, it will be very difficult when another person who comes into power, who truly mean well for the country, sees that this foundation is working, this law is working, put it that way, it will be very difficult for this person to dismantle it just because he want to favor himself. Do you understand? You know, when government comes into power, they don't continue with the previous one. They want to start their own. Say, we start this, we do this, we do this, we did that. That's it. There are some that will be very difficult, especially when you bring in another person from the same party who has the same ideology to truly make this country work, they will continue from where that person stopped, right? Because the foundation has been laid. You just need to complete the building. Do you understand? That's what Peter Obi means. He's not promising you to change Nigeria to UK overnight. No, but he must start the foundation of turning Nigeria into UK within the space of time. Do you understand? So it is possible. A journey of 1,000 miles start with a step. But if you refuse to start because it's too far, you don't want to try, give it a try, you are not going to get there. But when you start, put more effort, you will surely get there. And that is how it is. So Peter Obi, 4 years is too much. It's enough to do a lot of things. What is our problem in this country? Number one, we don't have law. Our laws are not working. Our institutions has been monetized. They are not working. What is our problem? Where the problem of this country is NNPC. That's where we generate 80% of resources we spend in this country is through NNPC, isn't it? Before you talk of anything. So that NNPC, there's a lot of corruption. The corruption is more than the good side of it. The corruption is more than the good side of it. What they use the money for, the resources for. Do you understand? So if you are able to solve that problem, solving the corruption, stopping the corruption, removing the corruption in that NNPC, you save a lot of money. Then you go into agriculture. Every year now, you plant this season, the next season you are going to harvest. But what are you planting this season? What you plant this season determines what you are going to harvest in the next season, right? So we don't wait for, there are some things you don't wait for rainy season to plant. You plant every season, you continue to water all those things, you through your fertilizer, all those things. So the man telling you, he knows what he's going to do. The question is, what are you going to do within that time? Even if he's not going to give you 100%, this is what he's going to do. He's not going to tell you because of opposition. That's why when I listen to this my idiot, I'll call him idiot because it does not have sense. I think they call him Leke or something. He's from APC camp. He said when they asked Peter Obi, what would you do? The issue of electricity. What would you do? How do you plan to give electricity? Give Nigeria? You say you give the electricity. How would you do it? He said because Peter Obi said it is the effect of failure of leadership. That's why we don't have electricity. Before Oko, he said, how do you plan on solving the problem? How do you want to solve the problem? He said he did not answer the question correctly. He said it's leadership. He was expecting Peter Obi to start listening so that you get pen and paper. You will do this, he will do this, he will do that. No, who does that? So his idea, he should send his idea to opposition. Peter Obi said that's where you know somebody who prepared for work already, this job. When they were campaigning 2023 presidential election, 2022 when they started, he went to Egypt to know how to generate and transmit. He said the Egypt in Africa, and Egypt have the one they newly built, and they have the highest capacity, I think. So he went to Egypt to learn. How did you guys do it? How to do it? He went there to learn while planning of getting the job of a managing director to manage this country. He was doing training. He went to learn because he doesn't want to come and start giving you story. Those people where he went to learn, they've done it before. There's a probability he will bring them to this country from day one. Just the same way Tinubu says subsidy gone from day one. This man can invite those people to come because he might have make negotiation with them. So okay, the discussions would have started. So don't worry. Now I know this, I know that. Once I won the election and I have been sworn in, action started, I'm going to call you. It's just to pay the money, then the work start. Simple as that. So it was after election, the minister of power, Adelabu, said he want to go to Egypt to go and learn how to transmit and generate. Had they gone? They said they want to go. They need 10 billion. Had they gone? No. These are what you should look out for. We should look at. Somebody have already gone ahead to learn how to do this. Then another person have already get into office before learning how to do it. Do you know how long it's going to take you to learn before you come back to say you have learned how to do this, now you want to start doing it? It not will work now. So all these things is what we are saying. Think Peter Obi will not come into office and start chasing APC members, PDP members who don't steal our money, who steal our money many years ago. He will come, they chase them. Why you they chase them? They go. You leave your door, the door of your shop, you leave it open. Make criminal come steal another one. Then after you don't recover the one where they see before, they don't steal another one. You come, they recover. No, what do you do? They don't steal, go. But from today, because I am now here, you know, will get opportunity to come into this shop to steal money again. The process, I don't understand how now they come in. Now here now they follow. I want to put fence here so that I know if pass here, can't steal this thing. That's what it be. So you need to first of all block the loopholes, block the access. You not go fit nobody. As far as say we dey into this office, nobody will fit do mago. Nobody will fit steal public money again. When you don't put that one, you don't fit solve that problem. Finish. Before you come, they think about who steal money 20 years ago, 5 years ago. Now you know see this process. Now you don't feel allow anybody steal money again. Anyone when he steal money, immediately you will catch him and he will bring him and he will get punishment for it. So ask them, what do you want to do? He's not going to tell you opposition. Just like you see, if you are following this UK, Kemi Badenoch and Keir Starmer, you see everything opposition says they will do. When Kemi is hitting opposition that you are not doing this, you are not there. When they come into power, they are going to do this, they are going to do that. Before you know, opposition will think about it. They will start doing. You don't tell them everything. If you tell them, where is your secret weapon? Anyways, please share this video. Peter Obi, he knows what he's saying. He just needs time. He just needs Nigerians. See, now maybe the president, give me, trust me, I will deliver. Dela Farotimi may even say 4 years is too much. For him, 2 years is enough to do something. What will be our problem? Corruption. No law. Anyway, please share this video. And please subscribe for more. I'll be your guy now. Please share and subscribe for more.